Pam Bondi walked into that hearing room with a smile, but within minutes Senator Amy Klobuchar turned it into something far more serious. This wasn't just another round of confirmation questions, it was a stress test for the future of the Department of Justice. And from the very first exchange, one question loomed over everything: is Bondi really here to serve justice, or is she just another political loyalist protecting her own circle? Klobuchar began with something straightforward, asking about frontline prosecutors, the men and women in the trenches pulling fentanyl off the streets, dismantling gangs, enforcing civil rights after George Floyd's murder.
Very good. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for mentioning antitrust. I'm really proud of the work you and I have done together, as well as Senator Lee and I. And I know we discussed with you, Ms. Bondi, the work on allowing state AGs, a bill that Senator Lee led, and I was the Democratic lead on letting state AGs keep the antitrust cases involving tech in their states. And Senator Grassley and I successfully passed our bill to finally update the merger fees, which have allowed larger mergers have to pay in more, smaller mergers less, and that has led, along with other reasons, to beef up the antitrust division of antitrust during the last few years. And I want to make sure that you are committed to continuing a strong antitrust division with adequate personnel.
And if I am confirmed, I intend on bringing in Gail Slater. She is amazing, and I think bipartisan support for her, and did a lot of antitrust. Well, I had someone who knew antitrust much better than I when I was State Attorney General, and it's very important.
But how about the resources for the division? It has been under this administration, the current outgoing one, they have added lawyers and others to it. And my question was is if you'll continue that.
Yes, I was actually looking at the structure of that unit, and if I am confirmed, I've been a little busy. I plan on working with Gail Slater and all the lawyers in that unit.
Okay. And then just you and I discussed some of the important cases, the Google case, Live Nation, Ticketmaster, the Apple case. I don't know if we talked about that one, but RealPage. And will you commit to continue these cases and to pursue remedies that will fully protect consumers from anti-competitive conduct? I'm not asking what the result will be. I can imagine you couldn't answer that, but I'm just asking that under if you are confirmed that you will continue the work on these cases.
Yes, Senator, I haven't looked at those on a case-by-case basis, but I'm committed to that type of case and protecting consumers. And I will look at that and have that unit look at that right away.
Thank you. At its founding in 1870, the Justice Department's priority was to enforce civil rights. That's what was founded, the reason guaranteed by the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments during Reconstruction. Today, civil rights enforcement is led by the Civil Rights Division. Do you believe it is a critical mission of the Justice Department to vigorously enforce our nation's civil rights laws?
Yes, Senator.
Okay, thank you. Voting rights. Will you commit to properly enforcing federal laws that protect the right to vote that are critical to ensuring free and fair elections like the Voting Rights Act?
Yes, Senator.
Okay. We're back to the FBI nominee. Again, I express my deep concern, Kash Patel. He has vowed to retaliate against the president-elect's enemies, quote, not just in the government, but in the media, end quote. As we know, the president-elect has already sued a pollster in Iowa whose predictions turned out to be wrong, which happens with pollsters all over the place, as we all know. But a free press is essential to our democracy. Reporters must be able to do their job without fear of being investigated or prosecuted. Will you commit that the Justice Department, under your leadership, if confirmed, will respect the importance of a free press?
Absolutely.
And if the president or the, depends on who the FBI director is, I have some strong views on that, tries to push to go after the media, how would you respond to that?
I have not, clearly he's made some statements, but I haven't talked to Mr. Patel about those statements. But going after the media just because they're the media is wrong, of course.
All right, thank you.
Senator Kennedy. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. General.
These are the people who make justice real in communities. Bondi nodded, promised support, and said she respected their work. On paper it was the right answer. But here's the problem, sometimes the right answer is just the easy answer. Saying you'll back prosecutors is one thing. Proving you'll do it when political pressure comes crashing down is another. And Klobuchar wasn't going to let her off easy. But that was just the warm-up. Because then came the question that matters most in any Attorney General confirmation: independence. Will you enforce the law, or will you bend under pressure? Klobuchar reminded everyone that political interference has always been the biggest threat to the Justice Department. She cited how past Attorneys General, Democrats and Republicans alike, made one principle clear: the White House cannot meddle in criminal cases. No calls, no nudges, no tampering. That firewall is what separates democracy from authoritarian show trials. So when Bondi was asked if she agreed, she gave the line everyone expected: yes, the DOJ must be independent. Yes, she'd make decisions based on facts and law. But let's be real. Words are cheap. This is the same Pam Bondi who spent years defending Trump world, raising eyebrows for conflicts of interest, and carrying water for partisan allies. Now in front of the cameras, she suddenly wants us to believe she'll become the guardian of justice. That's like a fox promising to guard the henhouse. And Klobuchar's face said it all. She wasn't buying it. But the real cracks appeared when Klobuchar brought up Kash Patel. If you don't know Patel, here's the quick rundown. He's been floated for a major DOJ role despite openly blasting the FBI's intelligence division. He called it the biggest problem the FBI has, and even suggested breaking it apart. Think about that. Dismantling the team responsible for tracking terrorists, espionage, and cyber threats. That's not reform, that's gutting national security. So when Klobuchar asked Bondi if she agreed, Bondi gave the classic politician's dodge: I haven't seen those comments, but I'll make sure laws are followed. That's not an answer, that's an escape hatch. Because the real issue isn't whether she's seen the comments, it's whether she's willing to stand up to extremists who want to weaken America's defenses from the inside. And if her vague reply is the best she can offer, that should terrify everyone. But Klobuchar wasn't done. She pivoted straight to healthcare, specifically the law allowing Medicare to negotiate lower drug prices. This was a massive win for seniors, saving billions and cutting costs for everyday families. And guess what? Big Pharma hates it. They're already suing to block it. So Klobuchar asked Bondi the million-dollar question: would she defend the law, even if the president doesn't like it? Bondi said yes, she'd enforce the laws of the United States. But history complicates that promise. Because Bondi has a record, and it's not on the side of patients. She has sided with corporate interests before. She fought the Affordable Care Act. And now suddenly she wants to pose as a champion of seniors' drug savings. Forgive the skepticism. And that wasn't the only healthcare showdown. The Supreme Court is gearing up to hear challenges to the Affordable Care Act's preventive services, protections that cover everything from cancer screenings to birth control. Millions rely on these services to stay alive and healthy. And yet Bondi once joined lawsuits to throw out the entire ACA. That's not just opposition. That's sabotage. So when she now claims she'll defend this specific case, it's hard to take it seriously. It's the equivalent of someone burning down your house one year and then promising to protect the front porch the next. Then came reproductive rights. The FACE Act, passed in the 1990s, protects patients and doctors at reproductive health care clinics from harassment and violence. For decades, it stood as a shield against extremists who think intimidation is a political tool. Klobuchar asked if Bondi would enforce it. Bondi said yes, but with a twist, that it should apply evenly to abortion clinics and pregnancy centers alike. It was the kind of answer designed to sound balanced, but let's be honest, in practice this law exists because clinics providing abortions have been under direct threat. Saying you'll apply it evenly is another way of diluting the urgency. And when you line it all up, the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. Every time Klobuchar raised a critical issue, DOJ independence, FBI security, drug prices, ACA protections, reproductive rights, Bondi responded with the same playbook: vague assurances, safe words, promises that sounded nice but carried no weight. It was less about making commitments and more about keeping her options open. And in Washington, that's the oldest trick in the book, but viewers at home can see through it. The hearing wasn't just about Bondi's answers, it was about her record. And when you put the two side by side, the contradictions scream louder than her rehearsed lines. She wants to be seen as the guardian of justice, but her history shows a loyal soldier for political allies. She claims she'll defend healthcare protections, but her past actions tell another story. She says she'll keep politics out of the DOJ, but she's built her career by staying in politics' inner circle. And that brings us back to the core question Amy Klobuchar kept pressing again and again: who will Pam Bondi really serve? The people or the powerful? Justice or politics? The answer matters, because the Attorney General isn't just another cabinet secretary. The AG decides whether laws are enforced fairly, whether corruption is punished, whether rights are defended, and whether America's justice system remains independent or collapses into partisan theater. So ask yourself this: if Pam Bondi becomes Attorney General, will she be the wall between politics and justice, or the door that opens for political interference to flood through? Because make no mistake, the stakes couldn't be higher. And now I want to hear from you. Do you believe Bondi's promises of independence, or do you see them as just another political performance designed to get through the hearing? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this conversation is bigger than one hearing, bigger than one nominee. It's about the future of justice in America. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, hit that subscribe button. The next video dives into an even more explosive clash, and trust me, you won't want to miss it.